So how do we deal with and manage the toys that our kids have, and just the clutter and the chaos that often comes out of something that often gets out of control very quickly? First tip that I'm going to give you is just to make sure that everything has a place. And this sounds really simple, but it can be huge. Just having the right kind of organization in your space to make sure it has a space. And that's just like making it easier for one, for you to clean up, for the kids to clean up, for friends that are playing, for them to clean up, because it's really obvious where stuff belongs. And I think it just helps to keep stuff more organized too, because then they're not dumping everything out trying to look for one item because everything's just a jumble and they can't find it. It helps it to be just like you can just go for the box that you know you want to play with and you know has things. So some of my favorite things as far as organizing, and like my absolute favorite, is just these IKEA these IKEA crates. They're just a very nice quality build, but they come in different sizes too. So this is the smaller one, and so at different times I've put sometimes like some of their kitchen stuff in here or trains in here. But I really love the quality of it. But one of the most beneficial things is that they can stack with the different sizes. So this one can stack two side by side of the small ones, or you could stack another large one on top of here. So I just love the sense that you can organize your toys, you can put in what you want to be in there, and then you can stack and kind of put it away in a corner very, very quickly. And so what I love about this is that, like, this is all Duplo, but if they dump this all out, sometimes it can look like a mess, but you go, oh, wait a sec, this is all Duplo. It goes in the Duplo box. Oh, this is all train set. It goes in the train set box. And it's very, very easy and quick to put it away, and it helps your kids to be able to just know where stuff belongs and know where to find stuff a little bit easier too. And then I also love this. This I just have like a bunch of beads in, but these are just cotton baskets. And so just finding baskets to be able to throw stuff in quick. You get a bunch of beads, just throw it in there, put it up on a shelf so it doesn't get dumped, and you can actually be intentional about when you want them to play with it. But then also like things like we have a larger basket, and that's where all their stuffies go. So if things get dumped and stuffies are everywhere, I'll know, okay, all the stuffies go back in this basket. And I just think it helps it feel a little bit more organized, a little bit more intentional and specific, even if it's not like perfectly organized, but just you can throw it in and it feels like things have a place. And so that's huge. The other thing we have is we just have like a toy box that's all of their pretend play in their bedroom. And so we just put anything like, like food or dress up or baby stuff, anything kind of pretend house, that kind of thing, goes into another bigger box in their bedroom. And again, that's really easy because it can get pulled out and it looks like, oh, this is a mess, but it all goes back in that box when it's done, and it doesn't take that long to clean it up often. And so make sure that you find a place for things. And if you can't find a place for things, I would seriously consider going, do you really need this item? Maybe you consider getting rid of it. But sometimes it's hard to know, okay, what toys do I get rid of? Or when you're buying toys, what toys should I buy for my kids, one or the other? And one of the things that helps me with this is going, what is the goal of the toy? Not to just get caught up in what do your kids want, what's the fad, what's the ad on TV, what's the magazine, but like what is the actual goal of the toy, and thinking about the goals you have for your kids in terms of things like education, what you want them learning. I kind of have three kind of categories when I'm picking out gifts that I try to put my toys in most of the time. Not always, but often it's something that's like educational, something that's like a tool towards a specific goal that I have for them, or it can be clothing, something that's just very practical and useful. Just trying to define it in this sometimes helps me to be a little bit more specific and intentional about what the toy is, rather than just going to the store and picking out something that's like just kind of catches your eye or catches the kid's eye and they really want it, but then in the reality is like not a really good fit for them. And then one of the things I think that's been one of the most helpful is realizing that toys are really just and like pretend play is just a placeholder until they can do the real thing. And the goal is not to just have a whole bunch of toys and be doing pretend play all the time. The goal is to move them on to the real thing as soon as they're ready for the real thing. And honestly, most kids, I know, they get way more excited about doing the real thing than the pretend play. So as parents, we get all excited about, oh, we got them this little, easy bake oven, we got them, and we get all excited about those things. We think, oh, they're gonna love it. And they can, and they will for a certain stage, but the reality is often they get way more excited about being in the real kitchen with the real things and the real ingredients. Like, for instance, my daughter got given a baking basket last year for Christmas, and she was 5 that year. And she just loved it, but it was all real stuff. Like it was real bowls, real spatulas, real cups. And then even like adult box mixes like cakes and icing and pudding and stuff. She just loved it because she could do the real thing. Her great grandma had a birthday shortly after that, and she was thrilled because she had her own cake box mix she could make. She had the icing, she had the sprinkles, so she made great grandma a birthday cake for her birthday. And I just thought that was so cool because that was way more meaningful for her to do the real thing. Baking is that way, like science. She gets thrilled about like food coloring and baking soda and vinegar and things to do her science experiments. She gets thrilled about those kind of things. She gets thrilled about art, glue, paint, glitter, tape. She gets that stuff in her stocking. She is thrilled. She loves it. And so what I've started to go is trying to go to more like the real things and the educational that are going to be tools to help her be creative, help her learn, and those kind of things. And I find honestly, she gets way more excited about that stuff anyways. And the other thing I love about some of them is like all the baking science crafts for most part, those are all consumable items. So over time, they don't just build up. You can buy them again for them next year when they run out, but they are consumable and it's not like it just keeps adding to when you get toys and it just you no longer have room for the space anymore. Another thing that was really interesting to me is like one year for Christmas, I wanted to get our daughter just like an alarm clock, just like a little side table clock, because we were starting to get to the point where I was like, I just want to introduce her to the concept of time. Like she's not quite there where she needs to learn it yet, but I just want to get her familiar with it, right? And like, it wasn't like when she opened it, it wasn't like she was super excited about it, but afterwards she just loved it because it was the real thing. She could set the alarm, which sometimes backfired at 4 in the morning, but she loved it because she could set the alarm. She could figure out, okay, when is tea time? Set the alarm for tea time. And keeping track of time. And she'd take that with her everywhere. And I was like, oh wow, okay. It's really like how much the real tool is often the better way to go. If they're used to just getting toys all the time, giving them a real tool, test it, see what they think, right? Going through and organizing things so everything has a place, and you have figured out what the goal is for your buying toys or getting rid of toys, that at this point you're able to kind of get clarity on what you need to get rid of. But also as you get rid of toys, it's a lot easier to get clarity on then what kind of toys you should be buying. So sometimes it's kind of painful to get rid of something when you're like, I paid good money for this, but it actually trains your mind to be better the next time for when you're purchasing a toy, to think through it better and make a better purchase the following time. Then the other thing is I find when I'm looking at toys is I try to find something that kind of fits our color palette and within our home. Now again, this doesn't always work. I mean, we got Duplo, that is rainbow colors. A lot of times when I am considering my toy, I do try to think of stuff that's more soft colors. It's gonna fit into our home a little bit more. Nothing that's too bright, nothing's too flashy, nothing that's noisy, those kind of things. And so for me, like a really important things for toys is to help keep a calming environment in the home as much as possible. And so that can be with color, that can just be with like not too much busyness on the toy, not too much sound, not too many lights, those kind of things to just help. And that helps me focus a lot more. And I just think they're more beautiful toys, honestly. If you found this video helpful, then maybe just give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel. And I was thinking about maybe doing a video on just going through some of the toys the kids really love, some of the ones I would definitely buy again and recommend. If that would be a video you would like to see, maybe just leave me a comment below and I will make that video for you. Hope that this helps and that your home can become a more peaceful and intentional place where you can raise your family. Thanks for watching.